Okay, here we are in the loading room at last, alone together. So I have a couple of these Lee molds. The doubles, I like them a lot. However, I recently got a 6-ganger, and I really like it. You can actually pump out quite a few pretty quickly. So I got a whole mess of 38s, and I've been messing around with powder coating, and I'm actually pretty happy with it. So I got some fresh powder coat paint from Jig Junkie on eBay, and he sells them in, could be a she, he sells them in 2-ounce bags. A lot of the places I found on the internet, powder coat, it's all for cars or big applications, so you can only buy it a pound at a time, or the samples cost after shipping almost as much as a pound cost. But Jig pro-tec powder coating from jigjunkie.com. I found him on eBay. I think he has an Etsy shop too. You can buy them in 1-ounce or 2-ounce baggies, which is pretty economical. And I've done a couple of thousand per 2-ounce baggie. And some are really nice, or come out really nice, and some not so much. It could be the bullet, or it could be the color. I'm still figuring it out. I don't know if you can see these. The blue comes out pretty nice, especially for the way I'm doing it. This is supposed to be like a hot fluorescent orange. It looks different in the daylight. But either way, we got some blue. I think they look really great on 38 Special. There's a couple are done from last time. And I just took a random sample. So there's a couple that aren't the best looking things. I've noticed it doesn't really matter. Anyway, let's make a few. So I made this wire box out of mesh from Michaels. I had to wander around until I could find it. It's been through many thousand loads, and it's pretty much done. I think the integrity's lost, but I might be able to get one more. So we'll find out. And the tray that came with the Goodwill toaster oven. We'll load that up after we get some bullets going. I watched a lot of different people do powder coating stuff and stole a lot from them. I used to be really meticulous on how I do it, and I'd set them all up in the toaster, and I'd worry a lot about coverage and weighing stuff, but now it's kind of like when you make pancakes a few times, you stop looking at the book and you just kind of make them. And they're not like award-winning, but they're pretty good. I started doing a couple of handfuls. Kind of like mixing a Jack and Coke. You might have to go back and forth on one or the other. I figured about 4 or 5 handfuls works out to maybe 200 rounds. And I might have to go outside to shake this so I don't wake everybody up. But because I have the mesh tray, I can save whatever's left over. Give this an initial shake and then maybe go outside. So, first couple of shakes looks pretty good. Let's see if there's any leftover powder at the bottom. A little bit. Let's just go a little bit more. I used to be really worried about getting out of my hands too, and now I'm not. I don't think it causes cancer, but we're not in California, so we're probably good. It's just powdered plastic, so we should be in good shape. Closer. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I shook it up a little bit more so you didn't have to listen to it. And it's not perfect coverage, but it's pretty close. It's good enough for me. And it's actually good enough. I've shot a lot of these through Smith revolvers and Glock autos, and not any problem, even with the tiny little marks. So if you can live with just tiny little marks, I mean, they're not store-boughts. But if you can live with that, then good. And most of them are pretty good. I used to be real gentle putting them on this tray too, and and started not caring about that. That didn't seem to make nearly the big difference that I thought. Shake them out a little bit. Here's where my tray is tired. Okay. So, this is my system. Back when the tray worked, I transfer it onto this piece of wood. There we go. And then, fire up the oven. And we'll go from there. Turn on the heat! Okay. I got it set around 420. The Jig Junkies doesn't have instructions to say what time. Other places do. It's usually between 400 and 420, so that's where it is. The oven looks pretty close. Sometimes these hot elements will turn down once they get up to temperature, and that's usually when I put it in. Otherwise, I don't care. We can just put it in whenever you're ready. Heating elements toned down a little bit. Oh, heat wave. Oh, they're in. Put them in the middle for equal baking surfaces. Oh. Once now we wait. FYI on some of these used things, I don't know if you can hear the clicker. Sometimes it stops. So, you're on your own with the timer. Okay, they're just starting to get shiny, which means we're close. Anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes. Like I said, the timer doesn't work on this thing, and it started kind of doing them like, once you can smell them, they're done type thing. If they're like this, and they're probably still sticky, but if you do them too much, they get dull. So right when they look nice and glossy, we're getting pretty close, but we'll check back in a few minutes. Here we go. Ow, 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 ow. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh yeah. Ow, ow, ow. Started blowing on the, I think the faster you cool them off, the better off you are, because they're probably still sticky now. But if I can lift them up and get some air under and around them, probably could use the fan, and I have used the air conditioner when it's in the summer. A little portable job. But I waited until they were like crispy, if that makes sense. They're still hot to the touch, but when you can move them around, you can hear this crispiness. And that's when I think you can really start to break them apart now that they're cooled down. Some people dunk them in water. Haven't tried that. You can kind of hear them stick to the... There we go. Yeah, a couple stragglers. And even when they're all bunched up, I really anticipated that there would be worse marks. But they're not too bad. Focus. Well, maybe not for you guys. Does this help? Okay, so they're cooled down. Here's what we came up with. Now there are some marks on them. They're not perfect, but that's okay because we just made 200 of them, and we're making some right now. The second batch is already in the oven. That's from the tray, from the orange of the last 9mm batch I did. And I don't care about that either. So most of this will come off during sizing. There are a few marks where you can see they were stuck together, but they're really pretty faint. And overall, they look fine. Sized the bullets before we started, and you missed it. And then when I paint them, I'm going to size them again. Once they're painted, they size much easier. I do keep a little tiny bit of wax from my Lubricizer by the press. Every couple I throw a little bit on, and it coats them just fine. But I'm going to finish sizing these up. I hope you got something out of this, or at least enjoyed watching. And then stick around, we'll see if I can figure out how to throw me shooting these on the video, or we'll make a part 2. And we'll see what they do out on the range. Thanks.